is the Big O Show.
All right. Oh, you forgot the other matter they're fighting about. Both have been the richest men in the world at one point, have been critical of the other in the past. They generally don't like each other. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I know that Poupart will be the first guy to buy the pay-per-view of Zuckerberg versus Musk. Right, Poop? Right? You're buying that, right?
No.
Huh?
No.
No.
No, just tell me the aftermath and no.
I guarantee you, folks, if you go by his house that night, it'll be on. It'll be on. It'll be on. Yeah. Who you picking? Musk or Zuckerberg?
I don't think either one of them, from what I've seen and know, are particularly physically impressive or imposing, I should say. I don't know.
Zuckerberg's a redhead, right?
I think it's a redhead or brown hair, yeah, something like that.
Is he kind of like a strawberry? I'm gonna lean on the strawberry side. I'm gonna go with the smaller Zuckerberg.
Much younger than Musk, is he not?
Yes.
Isn't that kind of unfair then?
Yes, he is a little younger than Musk, and he practices jujitsu too. On top of all of that, so he and
I know somebody else who practices that.
He and Tua are doing a lot of that. So that's by the way, that report that he's been thrown to the floor a lot. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's the way Marcel phrased his tease to his ESPN story. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful how you phrase things. Somebody's jump on it. Is going to jump on it at every turn. It never fails.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of what he has to go through it. I can tell you this, that I took judo, and falling is, brother, it's a big part of it early on. You're constantly, like, it gets boring. That's how much you practice falling in judo. Okay, that's how much it is. It gets boring to a point. So I think eventually we'll help him out a little bit. Is it going to be perfect? No, of course not. It's not going to protect him from everything. All right, let's get to the elephant in the room.
And the bottom line is it's not going to hurt. That's one thing. So even if it helps 2%, it's 2% that otherwise wouldn't be there. So,
dude, it might help him in the locker room if he trips on something, and because you could get hurt. David Bowens blew out at least that's what he told us, but he blew out a ligament in his knee from changing a light bulb that he got on a stool. You remember that? You remember that?
I remember Laramie Tunsil getting hurt in the shower.
Yeah, Laramie Tunsil also got hurt in the shower. That's right. Very good memory. And so I remember David Bowens was changing a light bulb, and he says that he jumped off the stool, and boom, he blew out a knee ligament there. And obviously I think it was Jimmy in those days. It might have been Jimmy or might have been Dave, because I think he was picked up by Jimmy and then kept through with Dave for a couple of years. But one of them was obviously just kind of frustrated with it, because remember, David Bowens in those days was like a standout special teamer and then like a fill-in backup end is what he was.
He was a very, very good complimentary player.
Very good. And a really good dude, bro.
Yep, I agree.
All right. One of the nicest dudes out there, bro. He was a really, really cool guy. I still have my own David Bowens signed jersey.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like the last day of the season, and we were, they were emptying out the lockers. Okay. And he goes, "Hey, here," and I go, "Oh," and then I looked over to Harvey and to Neil, and I go, "Can I accept this?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yes, if they're giving it to you, you can accept it."
Nice.
And I go, "Okay, then I'm going to accept it." Okay, good. And then I said, "Well, sign it." And then he signed it, and I still have it, So it was like, but you know how it was in those days. It's like I had to look at Harvey over and go, "Harvey, David Bowens is going to give me this jersey. Can I take it?" Sure, you can do it if he's giving it to you. Yes, it's all right.
96, right? If memory
96. 96. Yes, 96. Okay. Very good dude. All right, let's get to what we have to talk about. And it's frustrating because I have no information. I have no film. First, there was a report of a slap. Then we don't know if there was really a slap. Supposedly it's in the thing. Then they say he was fishing for tarpon. Now it's not fishing for tarpon. They were boat hopping on other boats, and they were told not to do that. And then they said that the investigation was over and they're not pressing charges. Now the investigation's continuing and they're going to press charges. So I don't know what the hell is going on and what to believe at this point, Poop. What can you help me out and help us out with that actually has some information?
Well, I can tell you that, like, Andy Slater, who was the first one who came out with the report that the investigation was over, who has very, very good police sources, came out and again today was adamant about, even though it may not officially be that the Miami-Dade police wants to say officially that the investigation is over, for all intents and practices, the investigation is over, is what he's saying, regardless of what is being said officially, and that the only way this moves forward is if the victim wants to, go to the state attorney's office and press charges.
So that was reported that he is going to press charges now. So,
well, what's in the police report was that, what was he? He was willing to press charges. That doesn't mean charges are going to be forthcoming. That's
yeah, they still could pay him off and keep him quiet.
Well, that's part of it. And then not just because the victim wants to have charges pressed means that they're going to be charges. I mean, the investigation by the police has to show that there is just cause to, to file charges. So it's.
Where's the video? There's a video.
Supposedly police has it, and then they'll review it. And no, here's the thing. And it's like I tweeted. It's like, you don't want to hear any crap in June. Seriously, when the players go off after the offseason program, the only news you want to hear from a football team basically is players signing, or right, like the Dolphins did today when they released their training camp schedule of practices open to the public. Right. Outside of that, you don't want any news, because usually that the kind of news you're going to get in June and early July is bad news. And it very well may be that this ends up, being not significant in the grand scheme of things. And at the very least, it's going to be a bad PR hit for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that Tyreek it was kind of expected, right? They started talking about his past now. And so this is something that you're here with a fresh start, and you kind of want to bury all that kind of stuff and kind of forget about that. And now you kind of have to relive the past by adding this as a new chapter to the whole thing. And to me, that's probably the part that's got to frustrate him, that now people are going to say that, hey, he really hasn't changed. He has issues with violence.
Correct. And the sad truth is, like it or not, he has that in his past. He's not going to be afforded the benefit of the doubt like somebody who has a clean past would be afforded. And this is a guy who's been out and about in South Florida and other parts, being very visible. He's made it a point to connect with the community and with people, whether it be he's playing video games on Twitch, his store at Aventura Mall. He's doing summer camps all over the place.
Yeah.
With the Soul Runner Speed Academy and then even other stuff. He showed up at X's celebrity softball game on Saturday to lend his support and all that. And the guy it had been like perfect from every standpoint for him since the trade, with his first year production on the field. Not only that, but the fact that what he brought in terms of intangibles with his work ethic, practice habits, the way he was, pumping up everybody, instilling confidence in everybody. There are a lot of reasons too was play elevated last year, one of which obviously was the emergence of Mike McDaniel, better personnel around him. But I think the fact that he was shown so much public support from McDaniel first and from teammates, starting with Tyreek, that also helped. So in a lot of different ways, it was like above and beyond all expectations for Tyreek in his first year with Miami, which makes it frustrating that this crap had to pop up,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's just it sucks, and now you've got to deal with all the other stuff that comes, with this territory, and he's got to deal with it. We'll see where this ends up.
No, and having said, just one quick other point, if I may, just having said all that, is all I can go by is the police report and all that, and what's been reported as far as the facts. I don't know exactly what happened. If it does turn out that he did something he shouldn't have done, then obviously that's all on him. And when I say it's frustrating, it's frustrating. It's disappointing from us looking at him. But
Yeah.
if it's possible, he brought this on himself again. If the facts show,
well, dude, if he did slap the guy, then he brought it on himself.
There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, if you are boat hopping and you're trying to check out another boat and they tell you you're not supposed to be on there, well, then just get the hell out. And if you're tarpon fishing, you're not supposed to, stop tarpon fishing. That's it. It's pretty simple, bro. When they tell you to return the papers, just return the papers. That's all. That's all you got to do. Just pay attention, do what they ask you, and then everything else will work out, and you don't end up with any other issues.
And the rules apply to you even if you're Tyreek Hill and you wear number 10 for the Miami Dolphins. That's just how it goes.
By the way, the Dalvin Cook thing, there's not anything, to follow up on. But I was just talking with Marcel about this, and I just thought about this. It sucks to be Salvon Ahmed right now. Right? Because you're like, wow, dude, like I signed here and I thought I was going to have a shot here. Obviously, I got an edge over Miles because I know the system better, and I played well in it last year. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry in the 12 carries he had. So every time you asked him to run the ball, he was ready. But then that poor kid has got to hear about Dalvin Cook for months now. And that's got to be tough for him because the other three guys are safe. No matter what, whether Cook comes or not, the other three guys are safe. The last two guys, they're definitely not safe, especially if Cook comes. That's got to be rough for a kid like Salvon Ahmed, who continues to try to prove himself that he belongs in this league. And you know what? Being around him like you have, it's not like all he does are the right things.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
You know what I mean? It's kind of screwed up.
Yeah, but to me, it started before that. To me, it started sucking for Salvon Ahmed when they drafted Devon Achane in the 3rd round.
Right, of course.
Because they're kind of similar skill set type of guys, except that Achane just a little bit faster. And they didn't draft him in the 3rd round just to sit on the bench as a rookie, because running back's kind of a position where the learning curve's a lot lesser than it would be, let's say, wide receiver or linebacker, for example. So I think it was bad from the beginning for him the second they drafted Achane, and now this whole talk of Dalvin Cook. I mean, they signed Dalvin Cook. He may be begging, let's cut me. Let me go try to, somewhere else. But here's the other thing about Dalvin Cook. I mean, and I just tweeted about this not too long ago. They are like, quote unquote, reports the Dolphins have done their homework on Dalvin Cook. I mean, no shit, Sherlock, really? I mean, and I tweeted and somebody.
By the way, the Dolphins had already done their homework, so it's just so stupid, that story. It's just
like everybody's not doing their homework when a player of that caliber comes. Like when D-Hop became available, you don't think every single team like, guys, what are we thinking? Does D-Hop make sense for us? And then you may have 3 or 4 teams like no, pass. And we're same with Dalvin Cook. What, 5, 6, 7 teams, however you want to say. I mean, certainly not a third of the league will be like, no, that's not even worth considering. And then everybody else will be like, well, let's play it out. Let's see how much he wants. Let's see if we can make it fit and all that. And of course you do your homework and you evaluate. Duh.
Right. No, of course. Do you think the Jets are a real threat to sign him, or do you think it's just hot air out there?
No, I absolutely think the Jets are a threat to sign them. Remember, Breece Hall is a stud. He's also coming off a torn ACL. And who knows exactly when he's going to be back to being Breece Hall. And this is a team with major aspirations now that they made the trade for Aaron Rodgers. I know they have Michael Carter as a backup. I can't recall if they picked up somebody else in the offseason of note. But I absolutely think, guess what? Here's the term I'm going to use. They're going to do their homework on Dalvin Cook. And I could see in Simon there. It makes good sense for them, and maybe they'll be willing to pay more than the Dolphins would be willing to pay.
Okay, let's just play a little. Let's play a little hypothetical game here. Let's say the slap is real. Mm-hmm. Let's say he does press charges. Mm-hmm. Or not, it doesn't really matter for the NFL. Then they do their own investigation that there was a slap, even if he got paid off, let's say, and there is no pressing of charges. But they see the video, they see the incident, it really happened. The NFL can do whatever the hell they want. because of his past, and some of the stuff really never stuck also in the past too. Some of them just ended up becoming allegations and all that, and it really didn't end up being guilty. But
correct.
Do you think there's a chance that there's a suspension if this goes the other way and there is some guilty on his side of this whole thing?
Yeah, if there's at some point TMZ is going to, TMZ is going to have the video.
Shocked they don't have it already.
I know. I'm actually surprised too. They're going to have it at some point, and if it shows indeed a slap in the back of the head, which is what the police report says, and then him charging after him afterwards, as the police report says, and the one thing that my understanding is that they can use in their adjudication of this particular situation is what happened at Oklahoma State, which they couldn't use in and of itself to do anything when he came into the NFL, but now it can be used in evaluating what happens now, and that wouldn't help his case. And so, in a worst case scenario, if it goes south there, I absolutely could see a case where he could be facing league discipline.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a long suspension, but I can see a game or two maybe. But not more than that. I don't think it'll be more than that because it's not necessary. Again, if it's just a slap, I don't think it'll be that bad. But, again, if he chased them and all that, who knows, dude? That's a situation that I just don't understand. What'd you think of the training camp schedule? 26-day reports, apparently, right? So that means what, the 27th we're allowed in, right? Because usually the first day we're not. Is that the way it goes?
Well, they announced that the public schedule and the first open practice is July 30th. The one thing that was noteworthy to me, because the rest it's kind of like basic, is they're having a team scrimmage at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, I saw that.
On that Saturday before the joint practices with the Falcons. Of course, you have the two sets of joint practices with the Falcons and then with the Texans the following week. Outside of that, I mean, the Buffalo Bills training camp schedule came out this week, and it began first practice July 26th. So, and with the way the CBA is, you're looking at a team where the starting dates are pretty much all going to be the same. So you kind of knew that this was coming.
Okay. Do we know anything on the injury front for anybody right now? Any of the guys that we're trying to rehab a little bit, everything still on pace? Do we know anything about that? Because I know they don't share that much with you guys during the off season.
No, they don't share anything. Trill Williams shared that he was feeling fantastic and he got cleared by the end of OTAs, which means he'll be ready to go for the start of training camp. And I got him as a major X factor on this defense. I was massively intrigued by what he could bring to the secondary last summer, only to see him go down with a torn ACL in the preseason opener against Tampa Bay while he's dropping a wide receiver for like a 4-yard loss on a screen pass.
I know, man.
And the dude can move, and he's huge.
And he's big. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. He was so big, they gave him a linebacker number at the beginning.
51, you are correct, until he switched to 6. Yeah, no. No, I'm like
I like some people tell me, why do you count Trill? Oh, he's done nothing. And I go, yeah, he's done nothing. But I watched him in training camp, and the kid was turning the corner, bro. You watched him from the year before where he was a little raw, and then you watched him last year in training camp, and you were just talking about it and elaborating a little bit. Those of us that were watching were like, hey, man, this Trill Williams kid is, feeling more comfortable and looking good. And so now the poor kid has to step into a new system now, so it'll be a little bit of a challenge for him and everybody else. But I'm with you, dude. I really liked what I was seeing from Trill, and it just seemed like another one of those finds for them in the secondary, that somehow they have an eye to find these kind of guys like the new kid this year that started, and we'll see if it continues. Is it Rhodes or whatever? What was it?
Thompson.
Huh? What is
Bryce
it?
Thompson.
Bryce Thompson. That's it. Not Rhodes. Thompson. Bryce Thompson. That kid. And we're like, okay, now it's a mental note. All right, kid, let's see what happens when the pad comes on. But again, are you going to be shocked? Am I going to be shocked if Bryce Thompson, a couple of weeks into training camp, we're like, wow, they found another one? We can't, right? Like,
no, the dude looked the part, man. I'll give you another one. Would it be so crazy to think that maybe Trill Williams can push for that starting safety job opposite Javon Holland?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Because there's no slam dunk guy here. Deshaun Elliott's a veteran who's got a lot of starts in his career.
Right.
His coverage metrics from the last 2 years, not good, even though my guy in Detroit says he actually wasn't bad, better in the numbers. And then it's Brandon Jones coming back from a torn ACL. And like I said, I am fascinated, might be a little bit of a strong word, but I'm very, very intrigued by the development of Trill Williams in training.
Well, that's a competition that we're all going to be looking at, because while Brandon did turn the corner last year and started to play better in coverage, which is what he needed to do, now he's coming back from an injury. He's got to learn a new system. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge for him and everybody else. So that's kind of the reason why that job might be, no, not might. It is up in the air, because Vic Fangio doesn't have any loyalty to anybody at that position right now, and he shouldn't. You know what I mean? So everybody should be wide awake and saying, I got a shot at this. And what we've seen from Trill, he kind of fits the safety mold, and he can hit too.
He can card for you. You're talking about a guy who played cornerback. So he's got the coverage skills, and he can hit because he's built like a linebacker almost. Yeah.
Trill Williams is one of those guys that I have a keen eye on that kid, because he showed me a little something last year, and I got to give him respect on that. All right, what else are you working on alldolphins.com, my friend?
Well, we're keeping tabs on the Tyreek Hill situation. I published all the the training camp schedule. I'm going to republish, for those who may have missed it, the entire 2023-2024 calendar with a Dolphin emphasis on it. And then a little bit later on today, I'm going to put out a call for questions for a mailbag for this weekend. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing something looking at odds pertaining to both individual players and the team.
Okay. Big D coming in with a really classic line here. Tyreek was thinking of that old Funkadelic song. Whoop, side the head. Whoop, upside your head. Say, whoop, side your head. Whoop, upside your head. Yeah, I remember that song. You know that one from the Funkadelic?
No.
No?
I know who there it is, but I don't know this one.
Yeah. I remember that. That's
you're older than me, so you would remember more.
Yes, exactly. By the way, would you get in a tiny sub to go down to see the Titanic for $250,000?
No, and the gross part about this is couldn't $1 million be served for a better purpose than to go see the remnants of a ship that sank 111 years ago?
It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
I went on the USS Arizona when I went to Hawaii for the first time, and it felt creepy, actually. I mean, I did it for like historical purposes, but it felt creepy. And in spoiler alert, I didn't pay $250,000 to do it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just it's at a point where I have a hard time having a lot of sympathy, because it just seems like a really stupid thing to do with a lot of money. It just does, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just absolutely ridiculous. All right, follow him on Twitter at PoopNFL, and catch his work there at alldolphins.com, and videos too as they get it going. And make sure you bookmark it alldolphins.com, because that officially makes you a Dolphins fan. Poop, have a great weekend, my friend. As always, I appreciate you, and don't go slapping anybody.
I will do my best. I haven't done that since I was playing hockey in my younger days.
There you go. A Donoso type of, that's what
you know how fisticuffs erupt after the whistle blows. It was always while somebody else was looking for it and in the heat of the moment.
Because Donoso could have been suing forever, because he got slapped over the head a whole bunch of times. Jesus. Anyway. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Alan, have a great weekend, my friend. Be good.
Right back at you, my man.
Thank you, sir. EJD Construction. Yes, sir. We love talking about Eric. And by the way, EJD Construction, they are also our title sponsor for our Miami Dolphins pre- and post-game show. That was decided today. So we appreciate Eric and all the great people there at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Many of you already in Dade and Broward counties have called EJD Construction. Some of you have gotten work, and some of you may need some work. You may have some water damage. You may have some roof damage. You may need a new roof. You may need to get maybe you want to build what's it called? An efficiency. One of our listeners is building an efficiency so they can rent it out and make some money because they got extra room on their property. There you go. Another one of our listeners built one for an Airbnb. How about that, folks? Or maybe your family is growing and you need to expand the home. Maybe you need to add a second floor. Maybe you want to put a observation deck on the top of your house, which I think is the coolest thing. There are so many things to do. We got a couple of listeners that have made a home theater with stadium seating, which again, that is super. By the way, you guys are more than welcome to invite me to see a movie in stadium seating, okay? Or maybe we can watch Musk and Zuckerberg on stadium seating. There we go, because Sean is dying to see that fight. No, but seriously, call the great people at EJD Construction. I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling, modernize that kitchen, create a killer man cave with TVs everywhere coming out of the roof or the wall or whatever. They can do it all for you, man. 305-433-4843. They are fully insured. So that way, anybody and everybody that works there, if they happen to get hurt on your property, you are not going to get sued. So please, even if you don't hire EJD Construction, whoever you hire to work at your home, make sure they're insured, because if somebody gets injured, they can actually sue you. And that's no fun. You know, come on. 305-433-4843.